Hey Ian, you ready?
You bet I am. What are we talking about tonight? And talk about guns?
If it's not a 30 cal, I'm not in.
Jeez, mate, that's not very inclusive. Have you seen Jono?
Hey Jono, you ready?
Well, God knows where he is, mate. He's probably caught up in the neighbour's wire again. You ready to go? Let's do this.
Mate, I'm ready. Let's crank it up.
Righto then. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of the Hunter's Campfire, where we're going to talk about all things hunting and the great outdoors. And we'll probably throw in a few tips along the way.
You want a tip? Say it once, say it 1,000 times. Goats love rocks.
Or a few things about deer. Mark, what do you reckon about deer?
As a deer hunter, I love hunting pigs.
Well, that's about as useful as I expected it to be. Oh, check it out. Here comes Jono. He's being chased by the neighbour's dog.
Okay guys, let's get this started. Welcome to the Hunter's Campfire. Pull up a chair, get comfortable. It's time for the Hunter's Campfire.
Hancock, what?
What? Okay, what? Hey, who?
We're back.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we this evening?
Hello, Jono. We're back.
We are very well, thank you.
We are.
Very royal, isn't it?
That's right, right. We are very well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has.
It seems like it.
Yeah. Come out of the
It
groove.
seems
a little
like
bit.
it.
We have had a.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. We've had a few illnesses and we've had a few cancellations due to illness. I
Mm.
completely lost my voice for 3 days. It was the weirdest
Too much
thing.
singing.
So that cancelled one. And yeah, had a couple of guests that have been knocked out with flus and whatever, so we've been delayed. So you get to listen to the
Here
three
we
of us again.
Here we are, back again.
Here we go.
Yeah. It's good. It's happening.
It's good. Yeah. We're in December now, winding down to Christmas, and the good thing about Christmas is it's even closer to hunt camp
Doesn't it?
and hunting season.
Are you sort of like almost gearing up? Like you starting to think about it yet? Is that an after Christmas thing for you?
No, I'm always thinking
yeah,
about the
yeah.
next hunt. Yeah,
Well, I'm always thinking about it, but like I almost feel
yeah.
like I've just sort of snapped into prep mode.
No,
This-
I haven't snapped into prep mode yet. For me, I'm getting into the fishing mode. That's
Yeah,
I know
funny.
we tried to do the Mile trip and it just didn't happen, but it sounds like they didn't have a good trip. But there's Christmas holidays coming, the weather's looking good. I'm keen to get the boat out. So I think I'll be doing a little bit of fishing, and then January we'll begin planning for hunt season 2025.
Yes, I can't
Well,
wait.
no, I'm into it. I'm into it. I am.
Yeah,
what do you-
So I've been
yeah.
up there twice now. I've already brought back the cameras, memory cards once.
Anything on the cameras?
So some really interesting stuff. One is not a lot of deer, but that's not unusual for that block. But the second thing is when I knocked that red back in, actually I know this because I'm making a video about it, on the 27th of March, I put a camera on the carcass and I've got some amazing footage of a few days later, wild dogs turning up on the carcass, all at night too. So thermal rifle, gentlemen. Anyway, and then so that they took about nearly a week to turn up. So it wasn't like, people would say, oh, they shoot these animals and those dogs are, I think the dogs are on it on the 4th of April. So between the 27th of March and the 4th of April, there was nothing on it, and then the dogs appeared. And, or I might have that slightly wrong, but something like that. And then the pigs came in. But the pigs and dogs were never there at the same time. And that weren't the same night and things like that. So yeah, it was really quite. So yeah, I've got a little, and it's all images, and I'm stitching that all together, and then they just left. So it was interesting.
Did you see the
But,
stage of the carcass?
Yeah, the
wastage
dogs
on it?
dragged it.
Oh.
The dogs dragged it. That's what they
Yeah.
did. So it was like really in the center of the center of the shot, and then it got pulled over. But the rib, you can see in some shots the rib cage just off. It's still in frame, but they dragged it. And then, and when they're eating, you can see obviously the things have just been pushed all over the ground because they're eating in different positions, so they're moving around. I've got a couple of deer on the camera. Really interesting thing was one of the cameras I lost into the flood. They found it.
Did they?
Yeah,
So that's the one from 2 years ago.
Yeah, property owner was slashing.
Oh, I only just
Property
realised.
owner was slashing and saw something in the grass and went, "Oh, that's a."
What's that?
He stopped. He must, and I don't know even how he managed to see it or why he stopped. So it's a slasher, but anyway, he stopped and it was my camera, and he stuck it in a tree. And then when I saw him, he said, "Oh, I found a camera," and whatever, but there's nothing on it. It had a memory card in it. Batteries are gone. Memory card's dead, as in I can't access the memory card. And however, it does seem to still work. So I put new batteries in it. I'm not sure, but I think it might be drawing too much current now, but I don't know. So I could have a 7th camera again. Yeah.
Cool.
What's a good
So
score?
that's it.
Yeah.
So I will do one more check on where the cameras are right now, and if they don't produce, then I'm gonna move them. So that's the idea. So that's why I started way back in the beginning of November, so I can just start to hone in, and then I can get an idea where they are, and then I'll hopefully get a lot more imagery. They found some really good obviously places where the stags have been holding up during the roar, things like that. So learning more and more about the property all the time.
How far was the camera found from where it was?
It was
tree, do you know?
It was a long way away from where I'd set it up. So it just obviously just got
taken with the water.
Water rushed around, and it was like actually where it was nowhere where I'd left it. So it wasn't like it fell off. It had travelled. It would have been great to see, because it would have been photos of underwater and stuff like that.
Flipping around, yeah.
Flipping around. But no, I couldn't get anything off it. So
it's pretty.
So it'll be year number 2 with both neighbouring blocks, right?
Yeah. So last year was the first roar with both blocks. I picked it up before the roar, and so this year will be number 2. I don't think it holds big stags. I think it's just
you never know what each year is going to bring.
Yeah, it's true. I just think where it is, because it's really, I'm pretty close, and I just think, it's an area that, it's an area that gets bombed.
Yeah.
So anything that looks like anything's, splattered. And there's what I'm trying to get is there's a kind of a property along the back that's right up on the mountain, and I want to find out who owns that. I'm going to see if I can get that one as well.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, because then
traversing through.
Yeah, it'll be really good to get that one. Because at the moment, the two I've got now makes sense. The way that the property's split up is obviously along a ridge line for geographical sense. But if you look at it from a hunting point of view, it's actually it almost runs perpendicular to the fence lines. So that's the way that the natural lay of the land, the way that animals would travel, they travel basically at 90 degrees to the fence line. So having both of them makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And John, have you got red deer plans for next year?
Nothing planned, but certainly hoping. I'd like to chase reds because I didn't this year or this past season. But yeah, hoping to be up in the Brisbane Valley chasing reds again. I love the red roar, as I've said many times. It's my favourite time of the year to hunt. But whether or not I can get access this or next year, not sure at this stage. So time will tell. But if not, then hunt camp will be
You
the
just
go.
have to come and grab a camera and follow
So
along.
when are you up there, Ian?
Yeah, so I've got my hunt booked with Lawson and Jesse from Wild Game Open Flame. They've been advertising their hunt packages for the year, and for the first time, I'm paying to go for a hunt. And what I mean by paying, I've paid plenty of money to go hunting, but this is paying a business to hunt, and I think they've got something like 15,000 acres of very good country. I haven't seen the quality of the animals yet. I'm told, there's some decent ones in there, but it's a pretty solid hunt. It's a big block to canvas, but the great thing about this trip, I'm really looking forward to, is the pre-scouting. I'm not just going to rock up on the day and get led to a corner and knock an animal over. We'll have to work for it. I've been out there once with them before and took a spiker for another event, and we spent the day hunting that spiker down. So I'm glad we pulled that one off. It's probably half lucky, to be honest, that we actually managed to pull it off at the time. But so we're going to get to put trail cameras out there and do the pre-scout, and be selective about an animal, and then target that specific animal. Now, something else might pop up along the way, but that's sort of the plan. First week of April for me.
So you're going up on Monday the 31st or something like that? 'Cause
I think I've got a pretty loose plan around it. I'm not going to be hunting it for a week. I'm allocating a couple of days to it, maybe a weekend at the end of that couple of days, just in case, as a sort of a backup couple of days. But
sure,
I'm going to play the weather. I'm going to have the whole week available. But if we're getting a cold snap coming through, something that Lawson tells me is going to make the trip better on a Wednesday than the Tuesday, then I'm sort of going to follow that guidance and work it. Obviously, if it's pissing down with rain or forecasted to do so, we'll tackle a couple of different days. So that's
sure.
So I reckon that first week of April is me. Yeah,
that week, the Monday is the 31st of March. So April's the 1st of April is Tuesday. The first there. So I reckon I'm going to be up there that week sometime. Probably towards the end of that week.
Yeah. So we'll just see how it plays out. It'll be the first proper red deer raw that I've hunted for quite some time. I used to have access to another blocks for another club, but funnily enough, even without taking animals off that block, I guided or mentored new hunters onto stags on there. I didn't actually shoot any myself. Spent more time with other people doing it, which was fine. But this feels a little bit selfish, actually. It's all about me. It doesn't happen all the time. So
got to treat yourself sometimes, mate.
I'm looking forward to it. The whole Lawson experience. He's good at what he does. So I remember when we knocked the little spiker over. He said, "What are we doing with this?" And I said, "Mate," we're way up in the back blocks of this thing. We had to really hike down gullies and up hills and all sorts of shit to get to it. There was no car access to where I actually shot it. And when he got there, he says, "So what are we doing?" I said, "Mate, I want the full experience. I'm just going to sit here and watch how you do it." And he looked at me with a look, you can imagine the look on his face, like, "You bastard." But he just got to work. And I know I let him off the hook, so I was only kidding. But I participated in the process and the carry out. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
I just realised the week after that is when school holidays start. So yeah, got to think about that. I got to think about that because the block the family comes up, so I don't hunt school holidays.
I see. Yeah, but before all of that, we're going to put some time and effort into Nundu over the Christmas break. Mm-hmm. We're all heading up there. Mark's separately, but John and I are going to head it between Christmas and New Year. You're the week after, Mark.
I'm going to be there. I think it's I can tell you, I got it on my calendar. It is, I'm going to be down there from Sunday the 5th of January.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on by then.
And leave by the 8th of January, weather permitting, of course. So I'm taking a new hunter down there.
So am I.
But we'll be in there.
Well, he's not a new hunter. He's my son. And I figure a 7-year-old It's about time we took our first deer together.
So I'll be taking my 9-year-old on his first.
Should be fun.
I think I'll spend more time on the Switch than.
It might be a little bit of Nintendo time up there, you reckon?
My boy was 6 when we went to the Pilliga, and I didn't shoot anything, but Tim and Simon shot stuff, so he was there for that. But Matt was 6 years old.
You mentioned the Pilliga. I could really do with a trip to the Pilliga.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah. Well, we were actually gonna. I wasn't there at winter time, so so that's why we're going to Nundle. If it was the other way around, I'd be going to Pilliga in the new year. But we thought, no, we went there in July, so let's head to Nundle.
I think it'll be a bit stinking hot in the Pilliga in January.
It is.
I've done Christmas, New Year, just after Christmas in the Pilliga. I took a group in there leading up to New Year, same time frame, and it was stinking hot, but it was a great trip. And then we got
it gets hotter in January
storm
too.
I've ever been in. Hit us, and we all bailed, and that was the end of that. But we'd been there for 3 or 4 days before then. It was good.
Yeah, and it gets hotter in January. I was down there once at Australia Day, and it was just every afternoon those massive storms rolled through, and it was like 40-degree plus days. It was stinking hot.
We get the long weekend for Australia Day, don't we? Next year.
Yes.
We do. We get the 27th off.
Yep.
Pilliga? Who's
Maybe.
king?
No, my boy's starting high school. I'll be doing stuff. That's going to be a busy weekend. It's
carefully managing leave balances at the moment.
That's the problem, isn't it? Well, it's a long weekend, so
well, yes. I mean, you could if you leave Friday night, you'd be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but come back on But no, I've got a boy heading to high school, so I'll be focusing on that.
Another bit of business or stuff that's come in I just wanted to mention was you would have seen a post, a lot of you would have seen a post come up on Facebook. The crew from Wingecarribee are organising a cleanup. I think it's on the Cleanup Australia Day weekend, which is March 2nd, and they're doing a state forest cleanup. Okay. So there's a post that came up. Go and have a look at New South Wales State Forest Hunters page. It was posted by Alexander. Others would know him as the Wild Food Meister. And he is organising it. So there are a couple of parks, Lidsdale, Blenheim, Roseburg, and how do you say that one? Canobolas State Forest. And he's organising crews to go into each one of them and do a bit of a clean-up in those, just like people do on the beaches, but he's trying to encourage hunters to participate in that. So if you're down that way and you're looking to meet up with a bunch of hunters and go and do a good job and a good deed, then jump on that page and have a look, or find Alex on the Wild Food Meister page. I'm sure he'll steer you in the right direction. But I think that's a great cause.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah. If I had a state forest somewhere near me, I might even organise a crew. But I should give that some thought.
Don't hurt my head.
Don't like that hat anymore. Don't like the knob. So that's that one. The other thing I was going to mention is I had a spontaneous purchase during the last fortnight, which I am very, very happy about.
What have you got? What have you got?
Well, sadly, my Garmin Phoenix 5 died an early death. So I bought the Phoenix 3 years ago, and I used that for a long time. And then I convinced myself I needed an upgrade, so I bought the 5. And I've had the 5 for nearly 5 years, funnily enough. And it died. It just turned off one day and didn't turn back on. So I took it down to a shop.
5 years is pretty good, though, I think.
It is, but my 3 is still functional. So, if I'm measuring the two against each other, the 5...
that's crappy.
A lot. So my son now wears the 3, and he loves wearing a watch the same as Dad. It's about the same size as his arm.
Did you get the 7, did you?
So I bought the 7X Pro Solar
Solar.
Titanium Sapphire.
Nice.
It's pretty. Anyway,
What's the
Big.
battery like?
so I'm on day 14. I've done 2-hour GPS activities every single day, if not longer, and I've still got 11 days of battery.
Yeah, because it charges. It's the solar one. So
It is freaking amazing how much battery this thing has. And it has heaps of cool features. I like the Garmin specifically. Well, it's a great adventurer's watch. I bought the first one because I wanted the altitude stuff for when we were going and doing New Zealand trips. I wanted the storm alerts, which have been really, really good. So I sort of sold on the Garmin at that point. Then when I got the 5, it had the ability to connect the watch to my Garmin GPS for dog tracking.
Oh, yeah.
So I turned the GPS on in my pack, collars on the dog, throw the GPS in my pack, paired to my watch, and now at a glance I can see exactly where the dog is. It gives you a direction, heading, and how many meters away. Now, she's an indicator. She doesn't usually go more than 20 meters away from you, but in the long bracken fern and stuff, you lose the dog. What the hell's the dog? I don't have to go looking. I just look at my watch and know that she's over there 3 or 4 meters, 5, 10 meters. And it also tells you when she's on point, because the collar registers that she's on point, or she's treed an animal, which is more of a US-based thing. But it tells me when she's on point, and that vibrates on my wrist, and I can see it on my watch, which is cool. I like the technology; it's good. Unfortunately, that died. The next version that I went up, so I missed the 6. I've gone to the 7 Pro.
I have the 6.
You have the 6, right? So the 8 is out, but normally when when the version comes out, the one before that is half price.
Mm-hmm.
So the tight ass of me said, I'm not getting the latest. I'm going to get the one back from that. And the step change is huge.
Oh, really?
Absolutely huge. Just in the quality of the display, the capability of it. It connects to almost 3 times the amount of satellites as the other one. So its pinpoint accuracy is a lot better. It holds the altitude calibration way better than the other one did. The other one worked fine, but every time, like if I went to a new location, I'd recalibrate, just make sure it was right. This thing is just holding perfectly. Barometers, all of that sort of stuff works really well. They've updated the componentry on the back that does your heart ECG. It's got ECG in it. If that's a thing for you, that's cool. But they've replaced that. That's now glass instead of plastic, so it doesn't get damaged like the old ones. The other ones, they wore and they sort of cracked a little bit on the base. Just the plastic outer cracked. Didn't do any damage to the watch. Didn't change the waterproofing, but it just wore over time like plastic does. Now it's glass. So, and they've got
mine's plastic. Yeah,
it's plastic. So that one's glass. And it's got almost twice the sensors as the other one. So it's doing a lot better job of picking up your heartbeat and doing all that sort of stuff. But the thing that I really loved, and not the reason I bought it because I found this afterwards, is that it now recognizes hunting as a thing. So it's not just fishing and hunting. There's a hunt app that it has. And the hunt app, the hunt app has a few different faces on it. So when you go, I'm going to go hunting, push start. So it now starts the breadcrumb trail on the map. The map also has overlay data from the bomb, so it shows you the rain clouds on your map. Just like when you go to the weather map on the bomb, that's now overlaid on your watch. So you can see where the weather is coming from, etc. The Hunt app brings the dog onto the map. So you don't have to go to a different application to look at the dog. It's now incorporated in the Hunt app. So I can see where she is all the time, which is a really cool feature for me. So I've now got maps, breadcrumb trails for me and the dog. It's got a wind overlay. So I'm just going to turn Hunt on for a second, see if I can show you. So it based on the wind direction, it gives you a bird's eye view of you, the person, and the wind flow direction.
Can't see it, buddy. I can't anyway. Don't worry.
Too much reflection.
Too much reflection, yeah.
How's that?
Too much glare.
No, can't see
No.
it.
Not enough. So basically what it does, in the middle of the watch, it shows your head, top down, and then it shows the wind flow in whatever direction it's flowing. And you might think, you don't need that. You should be able to feel the wind, but wind can be subtle, and it is telling you exactly where the wind and the thermal currents are going in a visual format, which is pretty cool. The last thing on it that I really liked was you could load your ballistics profile on it, your dope card. So if you know you're shooting a Seiko 150 grain super hammerhead, then you load that profile on there, and on your watch, you tap a button, you put the range in, and it brings in all of the barometric pressure data, brings in all of the other information that the watch has in its sensor base, and it gives you your holdover points, which I think is pretty cool.
That is
Now,
pretty cool.
good backup. We had an incident with my scope during the year. Excuse me. The electronic component of it didn't work properly, so I had to go back and rely on traditional methods, but I wasn't prepared for that. I won't make that mistake again, but now the watch has all of the ballistics data inbuilt into it, and it's just sitting there on your watch in case you need it. I just think that's awesome. So
That's
go
pretty
Garmin.
cool.
They've caught up with hunters.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, I've got the 6 and I love it. I still need to look at that Hunt app. I don't know if I can get it on my 6. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you probably can,
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
but I like it. So anyway,
Oh, I absolutely love my watch. I got mine as a Christmas present a few years ago, and absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I use it every day. I go to the gym. I track all my gym workouts. All gets logged. Whenever I go hunting, I use the Hark one at the moment.
Yeah.
For the breadcrumb trail. Get that right. And so I can see where I've been. I can overlay that onto Google Maps. And I can record all that data. So I use that for my hunts. I use it for my gym workouts. Yeah, I love mine. I think it's a great tool.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm pretty happy with that. The watch died. I had to upgrade. Don't tell my wife, but I rang Garmin and they're going to fix it for not much. So, oops.
No.
Yeah,
I certainly. If this one died, I would replace it with another Garmin. As nice as the Apple Watches are, the battery life is just, I couldn't deal with that. Not able to charge.
No. I've got
charge
friends
every
that
day.
are charging them every day, and
Yeah,
like
my
I
wife's
said,
got one, and every day she's got to charge it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here with a like I said, a watch that I've had running for 2 weeks, and I've got I think it says 11 days left on it.
Yeah, I mean, I charge mine.
Yeah,
probably every 10 days, which for me I think is pretty good. I use it pretty much. I use a setting on it every day at least. So I think 10 days for me is pretty good. But yeah, with the solar ones, the fact that they recharge themselves is really good.
Yeah,
all they need now is the what is the Seiko, the kinetics where they charge on movement. That'll be even better.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, but I mean, far out, near on a month for the battery is what we'll get. Kinetic charging or not, I'm pretty impressed with that.
The solar, yeah.
And like I said, normally if I, the other watch, if you run an activity, you go on a hunt and you put it into GPS tracking mode, you do your battery pretty quick.
It does bring it down. Yeah, the activities do bring it down.
I've tracked my fitness activities every day for 14 days for 2 hours every day. And that's the battery I'm getting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that solar makes a big difference.
So pretty happy with that. Hunt camp.
Yes.
I know we talked about going to Nundle, but we can announce hunt camp days. Exciting. Okay. I'm excited. It also means the planning starts in earnest now. There's lots and lots of prep that goes into our hunting camp. So if you're interested in coming to hunt camp this year, book your leave with your boss or family or whomever. Arriving on the 12th, departing around the 19th of April.
Oh, you're going to be down there for Good Friday, mate.
Sure.
What day is Good Friday?
The 18th.
Which day? Oh, that'll be
18th.
the 18th.
Yeah. I'll be coming home on the 18th, but that's fine.
People will come and go as they need to, but though the dates book in.
19th.
We'll, if you're interested in coming, suggest that you reach out to us. We start a chat group usually in December. We bring everyone that wants to participate in Hunt Camp into that chat group, and then we help you through the booking process, the dates that you need to start booking, the process, any tricks we can give you to help you be successful in booking, and it gives us an idea of numbers as well. So if you don't connect with us, we don't know you're coming, that's fine. We also offer a few things along the way. So if you know anything about our Hunt Camp, we don't charge you to attend. If you want to attend, you book on the R License website, you get your booking, you come along. Absolutely fine. What we do though is we offer a prize pack, if you like, or the ability for you to enter into a prize pack. And the years gone by, we've had binoculars, we've given away Zolios, we've given away clothing, caps, we've given away
knife sets,
safari sticks, slings, all sorts of things. So this year will be no different. I've already put an order in for some of the merch that's coming.
Cool stuff. Yeah.
So there's some cool stuff on the list. I can mention knives, and I can mention Spartan bipods, and I can mention. No, I won't mention anymore. That's enough. That'll whet your appetite for starters.
Yeah, that'll be enough.
That's some pretty cool stuff coming.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got an idea of we've got enough knives that potentially the first 10 people to bring an animal in, can get their new knife and butcher up with it. So that'll be pretty cool. And it's a reasonable quality one at that. So you'll enjoy that experience. And we usually charge a fee for you to enter that competition. That fee comes with the trip shirt that we usually get printed. And if you want to, this year will be slightly different. Last year we dished out the Frank, which was the blaze orange cap. This year I'm going to do something a little bit different. If my partners in crime over here agree with me, because I'm making it up as I go, and that is that you will get the ability to apply a certain amount of money to some merch on our website. So instead of you getting a $35 cap, you can take that $35, buy the cap of your choice, which we have 4 to choose from, or the shirt of your choice, which we have
That's what he means.
4 to choose from. That's what I mean. So you'll be able
gift card. Yeah.
You'll get a gift card to our web shop, and you can pick and choose what you want beforehand, and I will bring the order down. So yeah, some fun stuff that.
Yeah, that's it. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm glad you think so.
Good.
That makes a lot of sense.
We don't have to debate about it too hard. What else are you going to get from Hunt Camp? Last year, the guys will tell you that, like other years, people come from get a new dog. We won't raise that.
Get a new dog.
They're not my dogs to talk about.
Get bogged, yeah.
Get bogged.
Make sure you get out of the mud. We're going to find a spot that offers less drainage and more mud this year, just to make it more interesting.
I'm not coming in. Fuck that.
We'll find a drier ground. Maybe we'll see how we go. That's part of our scouting trip in December.
Yes,
but we will. Hunters of all abilities are welcome to come. Everyone's very helpful. It's not just us. There are people that know what they're doing, and they buddy up with people that don't. Last year we took the punters on a walk to show them sign, and we managed to find all sorts of things for them, from bedding areas to rubs to scrapes to shit on the ground, all of that sort of stuff within a little walk from camp. So we take people on a bit of an excursion so that they can see what we look for, and then based on what you see on the day, we'll help you target and take that animal. And last year was great. We had 13 deer come into camp. It was a really good number. Everyone got to participate.
That's a good number.
So it's an excellent experience for people, if I do say so myself, but not just because of us, but because of the people that come along. So make yourselves known. Don't be strangers. Get on the list. Let us help you get there is the message. And you'll see some stuff come up on the socials about it. And over the Christmas break, you'll see This is Hunt Camp video that I'm putting together at the moment to whet your appetite about what happened last year. Purposely didn't release a video about Hunt Camp, been saving it for the off season just to keep everyone entertained and interested. So that's on its way.
Plus there's the the dessert competition. Don't forget that one.
Well, and there's rumours of a home brew competition.
Yes,
Homebrew.
we had conversations of the homebrew,
Yeah,
and that can be beer, that can be
There's budding mead
distilling,
makers at the moment.
mead makers.
You
Yeah, what happened to your mead?
Oh, I drank it. Why?
He did what he's supposed to do with
What
it.
happened to my mead? I took it. I let a couple of people have a little teeny sample, and then I smuggled it away again.
All right. Well, you've got time to prepare another batch.
I have a bottle brewing in the fridge next to me right now,
There we
and I'll
go.
get another
So-
one, another two probably done before camp.
Hmm.
But I don't make
we need
this
to change.
give
We
to
need
you,
to
clown.
change. What's that?
I don't make mead to give away to you lot.
That's fair enough.
But there's a competition to be won. You know how competitive you are.
Oh, yeah, well, this is true. Yeah, and there is a rumor that mine was better than Frank's. So
Who started that rumor?
I did.
You.
But yes,
Yeah.
this year there was the next year, next hunt camp, there will be the dessert competition. We're not going to sample all the desserts in the same night.
No,
and
that will be rostered.
that was
Oh,
That was a disaster.
So that was an absolute disaster. We had like 6 desserts on one night,
It was
and
food coma night in one go.
Yeah,
It was
and
just nuts.
a few people might have ended up with diabetes on that trip, but yes, there's going to be the dessert competition. It will be rostered. I think we have 2 entries a night or 3 entries a night to get every night of the week. And if you don't enter, if you put up your hand to enter and you don't produce a dessert, you forfeit. And so if 2 people go in and one person forfeits, the other person's going to win that night. But yes, there will be a home brew as well. So if you're a budding home brewer, it can be a beer, it can be a cider, it can be a mead, it can be a whiskey, whatever you brew at home, bring it along. We're going to be having competition on that as well.
It's going to be bloody fun. I love hunt camp. It's too much fun. It's just such a good thing to look forward to. So, yep, get involved. Anything else we want to cover about hunt camp?
Nope.
Right,
Not that I can think of.
Talk about the magazine.
Oh, okay. Sure. Guys, for those who get the SSAA Australian Shooter, there is a review by yours truly of the Sauer 505. If you're looking at the review, you might notice that there's someone else taking shot with a rifle other than me. One of the problems with reviewing rifles all the time is it does get a little tired. It's kind of repetitive. So this time around, and what I've been doing for the last couple of rifle reviews, is people who are standing around asking questions. I say, do you want to have a go? And they generally say yes.
You take their photo.
Take some photos of them. Last time it was a range officer. So if you're ever at the range and you'll see me there, I'm there a lot at Belmont. I'm either reviewing a rifle or doing some other kind of test. So come along, say hello, and if you want to have a go, ask. And yeah, you probably end up in the magazine. It's a lot easier to take photos of other people shooting rifles than taking a photo of yourself. So that's in the current, that's December issue of Australian Shooter. So the magazine, couple of other things from me.
Let's not move on from the magazine.
What? Oh, yeah, what?
I read your column.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't like to talk about the column that much.
Why?
I don't know. I've written it.
Well,
it's gone.
I like to talk about it, so I'm going to.
Okay, sure.
So it was a thought-provoking column. I was thinking about the complexities of camp, hunt camp, buffalo camp. They do come with a fair amount of tech, toy, gadgetry, and comfort. I didn't get a sense in your column, and maybe it's just because I didn't read it very well, whether you preferred stretcher and hide over the comfort of camp, because you talked about both options, really, didn't you?
Well, no. So to give it some structure for those listening and who haven't read it, there's probably about 5 or 6 books I generally come back to, and one of those books is the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, who, if you remember Gladiator, he's the old one who dies in the beginning. The old emperor that dies, that Joaquin Phoenix murders, that's Marcus Aurelius, okay? And he wrote a book. He wrote a thing. It wasn't really a book. It's his meditation, so it's his thoughts. And if you're interested in any kind of stoicism or stoics, which seems to be a pretty popular thing at the moment, that's the kind of book of origin. And so it's just full of like observations and quotes. And one of his observations is it's about the joys of for us in so many words, the joys of camping. And he talks about the hide blanket and the stretcher bed. And so you should, and the idea is you should enjoy doing things that are a little bit tough. And that was the premise of my December, I suppose, philosophical rant or ravings. Not really a rant, musings.
Yeah,
and
how your
about
son
the joy of
starting
camping.
to get
It's about the joy of not the joy of camping, the joy of the camp. And I speak about, from an early age, how my camps were quite primitive. And then I mentioned the latest buffalo camp, which was probably, a pinnacle of logistics in terms of what we were able to achieve. And the fact that my eldest boy most definitely is following in the same footsteps. We were speaking a little bit about Nundle before. No, not Nundle, Pilliga before, and we were in the Pilliga together in July. And one night he said he wants his own tent. He wants to sleep in his own tent. And I went, fantastic. And of course, then he went to bed, and Darcy and Graham and I discussed, after they said, he wants a tent because you guys, you fart too much and you're stinking him out and things like, typical ribbing. Or snoring or something like that. We spoke about what kind of tent and things like that. So it's about the joy of the camp and the fact that my son seems to be following in the footsteps of that. So that's what that one's about.
It's cool, isn't it?
So Marcus Aurelius wouldn't agree with the electric blankets, would he? That we take?
Probably not. He would probably say that you're kind. He's kind of probably saying
you're Bluetti and the refrigeration.
You're probably saying you're blurring the concepts here a little bit.
Don't know. I quite like my electric blanket.
Well, that's right. You don't have to be a stoic. You don't have to follow it. If you do what you like, but that's kind of the point of it's not like you just take every luxurious item with you and drop it in the scrub.
Well, not all of them, but
not all of them.
Hot water blanket, a good electric blanket, or kitchens and
coffee.
When it comes to electric blankets, I do favour on the side of Marcus Aurelius. I just can't bring myself to. Then again, I don't have an electric blanket at house, so why would I have one when I go camping?
Well, neither do I.
I only have one for hunting.
I only have one for hunting.
It just makes no sense to me. But anyway,
it makes perfect sense to me. Crawling into a beautiful, warm sleeping bag rather than
Well, wouldn't you take an espresso machine and an induction cooktop and?
Well, that's it. I think that's where we digress.
Well, how was the meme that pops up from time to time? Camping, how to spend a small fortune on living like a peasant. I'd rather spend a small fortune and live like a king.
Yeah.
Well, see, look, I'm not cold when I go camping. I've just got a really good sleeping bag.
Neither am I.
So that's it. I've got a really good sleeping bag, and I must admit, I like the little stretcher bed. Works really well with the the Cedar Summit inflatable mattress, which works really well with the matching sleeping bag. So that's me.
Didn't you get bitten in the face when we went on the slam? You see, I didn't get bitten in the face in my Muswag.
Well, you reckon you electrocuted them or something?
My queen size swag with double mattress. They didn't get into that either, but that's okay.
No. But then again, look, I got hit in the eye running around in a side by side, so it's got nothing to do with technology. That was it.
Yeah. So I've come to appreciate a very comfortable night's sleep after a long, hard day's hunting. There's nothing better than having comfort and space, because we have all done hard days of hunting, crawled into a shitty little tent, and then woken up with a cramp in your leg, and you sit upright, and you've nearly collapsed the bloody thing because you're trying to get your legs straight and iron a cramp out. You haven't done that? You haven't
No.
lived, mate. Look at
No,
that. You've never got a cramp
I
in
actually
a small
sleep
space.
really well when we go away. I sleep really well.
Oh, so
There's
do
no
wake
I.
up
one.
so early, that's the problem.
There's no kid doing a pee at 3 a.m. waking me up. I just sleep really well. I just don't. I just clunk out, and I'm quite happy.
You just wake up so early. That's the problem.
That's it. That's it. I sleep really well. So no, I don't. I actually look forward to. I look forward to sleeping on the stretcher or on the ground. I sleep really well. I'm really comfortable.
I'll take
Great.
my blanket.
I'm really comfortable.
We'll see. We'll see what comes of. Yeah.
Look,
Well,
I slept for 7 nights in a or 6 nights in a tent in the Northern Territory, and it was a fantastic sleep. I mean, it was damn hot, but I mean, there was no way.
Was it better than Territory trip number 2 in the much bigger tent?
Yeah, well, it was much better in a bigger tent because it just had
space in
it
it.
was. Well, actually, no. It was a better tent for that. In that tent was
Wasn't your
I
other
spoke
tent a
about
Kuyu
before.
tent?
No, it was I mean, the other tent is a really good hike tent. It's not a Kuyu tent,
Oh,
but it's a really good hike tent. But what the one I took this time is one of those dark tents, and that was really good because it was just pitch
someone
black
made a better
inside.
product than a Kuyu for a second there.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to hike with it, but it's that pitch black tent, and so it was really good to sleep in.
Yeah.
No, it's not canvas.
Wasn't canvas? Cordura?
No, it's some kind of synthetic, that they make. But they call it the blackout tents, and it's black inside, and it actually makes them a bit cooler as well. So yeah,
yeah. That was the only issue with my swag. It was pretty warm, but it was comfortable. I didn't get attacked by bugs, and when we pulled over in the middle of nowhere on the way after 20 hours of straight driving, I could just throw it out and stick it out.
Actually, if I remember correctly, you did not have that much when we pulled over the way back. There was some issue with you and your swag.
I don't remember what it was, but I think
there was some issue. Whereas I just slept on the front seat of the car and
there was 2 people in the front seat of the car. I said I would lay out on the back seat of the car of the U, and it was like, yeah, that's not going to work. So I got my swag out. So
it was,
and I had like 3 hours sleep, and then we carried on.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to the road trip in September. It's going to be great.
Yeah, somehow.
I am actually as well. I'd say that was the biggest concern I had was the drive, and I loved it. It was it was cool. And now we know it was just
Now we know. And I mean, interesting. It had good features along the way. Interesting things to break it up a little bit. It was good. I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah, well, we drove past that wetlands on the way back that we didn't see, on the way up. That was amazing.
Oh, the ones that we stopped at.
Yeah. Holy moly, look at that.
Yeah.
There's this massive wetlands.
That's interesting. I saw a post. I don't know where it was on. Maybe it was on Facebook anyway, and it was the Barclay Homestead, and they had a ladies get together at the Barclays Homestead, and all the station farmers' wives and all that sort of thing came into the Barclay Homestead, and there were people flying in and all that. But that was just a central hub. It was just this oasis in the middle of nowhere. Great food and good vibe. It was just it was a good spot. I love that Barclay Homestead.
Would have been good to stay a night there and just had a few ales.
Yeah.
Rather than just one and hit the road.
Maybe next time we push through to Barclay Homestead and camp there.
Doable.
No, because it was the reason we didn't do that was it was closed.
Yeah, but if we left at a different time.
Timing was closed. That was why we pulled up at Avon Downs, because the Barclay wasn't open for another 6 or 7 hours.
Yep.
Anyway.
And we were tired. So,
yeah.
I was exhausted by that Avon.
So, what I want to talk about is, good segue for territory. I finished the last mount, which is El Pigorino.
Oh,
yeah, this one is so weird because there is nothing on this animal that's in any way symmetrical. He's really weird. So it's actually quite hard to get it right because it's just so. So as you can see, if you look at them, we've got one fairly significant cutter and the matching grinder. But on the other side, where he lost that cutter some time ago, this grinder is actually kind of growing out. It's almost like a tusk now. And if you look that way, you can see, I might do this. See, then even they're not in line. This is really deformed. So he had that, he broke that off some time ago, and it's actually started to deform. So that's the last one. So it sits next to the buffalo, because this wall that I'm facing is now the buffalo, pig, and goat wall, and it will be the deer wall behind me. So I'm moving stuff around. So, but yeah, he's a cracker of an old boar. So that's the last of the trophy. Yeah, it is. It's really, that's the last.
That was good fun. That one. That was a good hunt.
Yeah, that was a good animal. He was a big ugly bugger.
He was a tough bastard as well.
Yeah, he took some hitting.
Yeah.
Took a couple of whacks.
Is that a cow? No, it's a pig. Mark's gone. Adam's like, I see what you mean. Mark does like pigs.
We just sit over here and have some crackers while we wait for Mark to go shoot some pigs.
Yeah, and that's right. Boom, boom.
That pig, I'm just looking through the list. For those listening, we had so merch is very close.
Very close.
Very close. As in,
very close.
On Saturday, I'm heading to beautiful Toowoomba by the sea to try on some clothes, and we're going to do our first order. And so we will have merch ordering happening very soon. For those listening, we're going to have T-shirts. We're going to have hoodies.
Four T-shirts.
And as in T-shirts, as in a selection of type of T-shirts.
4 different T-shirts.
4 different T-shirts, as in colour. And we might actually have some different sizing options in those T-shirts too, in terms of cut. So we're going to find that out on the weekend. Hoodies, 3 colours in hoodies.
3 hoodies.
Yeah. Even a soft shell jacket and
a waterproof soft shell jacket.
Sorry, tell me. And a soft shell vest.
Waterproof except for the arms.
Well, obviously. Yeah.
I wouldn't want someone to complain.
Yeah.
You said it was waterproof.
My arms got wet.
Right. It's vest, guys. Let's not put too much into it. It's vest, okay? And caps.
Caps.
And our first run is going to focus the Hunter's Campfire emblem, but we're going to get a bit creative with that in following runs and make different kinds of T-shirts and stuff like that. So
one-offs as well.
And one-offs, and away we go. And the reason for I suppose, the time it's taken us is we've been really interested in figuring out a way of making sure that we get good supply. So that's been big part of the equation here, and we think we've cracked that. So
and supply of a product that we can touch and feel and choose, and not just pick up a website and have no real.
That's it. That's
the whole thing. We know the quality as well.
We know the quality. We get. That's why we're going to probably possibly have 2 cuts. So it suit. You can say, "Oh, I want that kind of cut. I want that kind of cut." It's local. And there's a supply chain, so hopefully we won't ever have issues about not in stock and things like that. So that's going to be our approach. So that's happening very soon. So as I said, on Saturday we'll probably finalise it, and then we'll be into it. And I suppose we're going to have to model these things.
Yes,
done the
have a photo shoot. Yeah. So we'll have as much of it up on the website for you to see as possible. Yep. To start with, there'll be mock-ups, just so we can get them up on the page, so you'll be able to see the colour with a mock-up image of the brand and what the picture what the shirt looks like front and back. And then as we get the first order through, we'll put them on some models and get some real pictures. Yeah, that's us. Yeah, that's right.
That's us.
You'll see. That's right.
That's us.
Sorry about that. And then we'll get real photos put up as well. So keep it on the website. www.thehunterscampfire.net is where you'll find us, and you'll find a merch page which you can go and have a look at. So go buy some stuff. You should be able to thinking for good enough, just knowing how these guys work. I'm hoping to have some imagery up in the next, well, I'm going to say a week after this launches, because this will take a week to get out. So a couple of weeks from now, which means that you might be able to get an order in for Christmas. Go tell your wives, come to this website, buy some stuff. I might sell them a scope while they're there. Yeah.
Okay. So the merch moves into a very interesting area, which we've all spoken about. And if you were watching a couple of weeks ago when we were speaking to Ian Head, you may have noticed the African one, World's Safari Expeditions. World Safari Expeditions?
Yep.
World Safari Expeditions. You may have noticed something. And what you may have noticed is Ian had just come back from Thailand, and let's be honest, he looked a bit different. And I actually thought that he had either Bali belly or Thai tummy.
The Mega Mag experience.
That's right, or he had a return of the Mega Man. And for those who don't know that, Ian experimented, I suppose, quite holistically and experimented with magnesium while he was away in hunting in up in the territory. So I didn't know if he maybe had a Mega Man recurrence. He, looked thinner in the face. And the other thing too, which people probably wouldn't have picked up on, is he was wearing a jacket. Now, the reason that was really interesting was he said that that jacket didn't fit him, and then he's wearing this jacket that did fit him. And I went, hey, did you buy another bloody jacket and not tell us about it? But it was the same. Yeah. It was the same jacket. So all this kind of mysterious innuendo, I fronted him. I said, what's going on? And he told me. And I reckon we need to have a chat about that. So we're going to put you on the spot. We want to tell us either what's happening.
Yeah, so what's the easiest way to start this? Look, most hunters, most people actually, but if we just keep it to the hunt crew, you prepare when you're going on a big hunt trip. You've got something booked, you want to get ready for it, you want to make the most out of it, so you start some sort of fitness regime. Jono, I know you get into it pre-hunt camp, you're into it most of the time anyway, but you'd probably accelerate it. A lot of my friends that are that are hunters, leading up to the rut, at some point in time they trigger into, I need to do some pack training, I need to do some walking, I need to do some stuff. And I've always done the same thing. But I've always been, I guess, I got a little bit disillusioned by some of the things that I was trying to do to lose a few kilos before, or a lot of kilos before going into hunt mode. And this year I looked really closely at a couple of different things that I thought might be able to help make a difference for me. And I stumbled across a program that was coached. So instead of me just deciding to be a Manshake user and cutting all of my calories and trying to calorie count and lose weight and get fitter that way, I thought I'd go and get help from somebody that does this for a living, basically. So I joined this coached program, and for 3 weeks leading up to hunt camp, not to hunt camp, to the Buffalo trip, I started it. And by the time I got to the territory, I'd already lost 10 kilos, which over 3 weeks was a massive amount. Now, everybody knows that when you start some sort of health program, you lose a lot of weight early. It happens on a lot of these sorts of things. But once you sort of then plateau out, you stall a bit, and then losing weight becomes a bit more difficult. So this program was quite different. They had a really good structure. They had some accountabilities. I checked in with them every day. They helped me through various different things that I was going to. But at the end of the day, it became a really good program for me to drop a bunch of weight and get ready for hunting. And I wanted to focus on that for me so that next time we go back to the territory, it's easier. When I front up to hunt camp, I can hunt harder. and all of the things that we all aspire to be able to do as hunters, right? So, but the really cool thing about this program, and I'll talk to you a little bit about. I won't go into the details about what I do, but I'm now the program runs in cycles of 6 weeks. So you do a bit of a prep phase for a few days, and then you go into 4 weeks of weight loss, and then they stabilize you. And you hear a lot of people, they go through diet phases and they lose a lot of weight and then they put it all back on again. They lose a lot of weight and they put it back on again because they don't really change much other than they go on a diet, and when they finish their diet, it all just sort of piles back on. This thing teaches you a whole lot more than that, which I found really, really interesting. I learned a lot about nutrition that I didn't even know, and I learned a lot about supplementation and those sorts of things that I probably didn't know either. So it's been quite an education process, but it goes in 6 week cycles. At the end of the 6 week cycle, you can stop and do it anymore if you don't want to. If you've got to a goal weight or you've done what you need to do, you stop or you start another 6 week cycle. So it's not something that rules your life, but you can commit to 6 week cycles really, really easily. So that's what I did. I did this and I committed to it completely. And over 2 6 week cycles, I lost just over 20 kilos, which was awesome for me. And I'm going to continue doing it for another couple of cycles and see where it ends up. But along the way, Mark, you noticed, other people noticed, and I had another mate that's not in the hunting community. He noticed and he said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What's going on?" So I introduced him to it, and he introduced his wife. And it was quite interesting bringing a friend into it because I kind of felt like it was going to be good. I'll have a running mate. I'll have someone that I can check in on, and we can sort of be a bit competitive against it. But he didn't have the same. I'm not competitive, Mark. Honest. He didn't have the same drive about it that I did, and he quickly dropped out, and he didn't want to do it anymore, just because it didn't suit his lifestyle, and he had other things he wanted to do. So that was fine. But his wife, who I didn't think was going to stick with it, she quickly lost 10 kilos. It was just incredible that who I thought wasn't going to be part of it remained part of it, and she lost some good weight. And then 3 hunters in my hunting circle approached me over the next little while, and one of them lost. He's on the program with me at the moment. He lost 5 kilos in 3 weeks, a bit over 3 weeks. The next one lost 9 kilos in 5 weeks, and the next one lost 16.5 kilos in 5 weeks. And that sounds really unsustainable. You think about what you've heard before in weight loss. You want to do it slowly, and you need to be able to hold it off and all those sorts of things. So it seems like enormous numbers, and it is, but it really works. So I got really curious about it, and I spoke to the coach, and I said, could we do something around the hunting community with this? If we had a dedicated coach that came in to talk to people that wanted to get fitter and healthier, and it's not just weight loss. There's lots of people that come into this to, because it teaches you about nutrition. There's lots of people that come into this that, solve other issues that they've got around health. There's people that I know that have got mild arthritis or sore knees or sore this and sore that, and they help them out with various different supplementation that supports that for them if they want to do it. So anyway, I spoke to the coach and I said, well, if there was a community of people that might be interested in this, could we dedicate a coach to the Hunters Campfire team and offer this out to people that might be interested in coming along on the same sort of journey? And lo and behold, they said, yep. So I've had a few different conversations with them over the last few weeks to try and figure out how we might work it. But I think with a sample size of 6, one didn't really want to play the game, and the rest of them have lost significant weight and had really good outcomes. It says to me that it's a program that's worth pursuing. And I think there's lots of people out there that would be interested. So that's the general gist of it. Lots of questions will come from that. How, what's the program? I can tell you a little bit more that says you eat real food. It's a lot of whole food. So it's a lot of meat. It's a lot. So for hunters, these are the things that made it good for me. There was a lot of meat eating. Now, it's not a Metasaurus diet. It's not a carnivore diet. I ate a lot of vegetables. I ate a lot of fruit as well. But it is based on protein. It's not keto. You've all heard of keto. It's very difficult to stay in that zone if your family's on board with it. It's easier to fit in with your normal family routines and lifestyle. It's normal food. And then they help you supplement based on what nutrition you're not getting out of the food that you might normally. And you hear some really crazy statistics, like to get the same nutrition out of a tomato that your grandmother may have grown in her veggie garden, you probably need somewhere around 500 tomatoes out of Woolies to do the same thing, because they're not growing to the same standards anymore. They're growing for looks, and they're growing for long shelf life. Right, so you're buying something that looks good, and you're just not getting the same stuff out of it. So if you think you're eating healthy, you're probably not, and that's unfortunate. So they help you with supplements, and if you want to buy them, you can, and if you don't want to, that's totally fine as well. But this is just the process they take you through in education. So decent amount of meat, and which is great for me because that's what I like, and walking. So it's all low impact. They don't send you to the gym. They don't make you do resistance training. They don't force you to do anything crazy, but they ask you to walk, and they give you some walking goals. Get up a little bit earlier, go for a walk. And that's pretty much what I'm doing. I get up every morning and I go for a good long walk. I talk to some of these other hunters that are on it about what they're doing and what's going on in their day. I catch up with them. And, by the time I've spoken to 3 hunters on a walk, my time's up and I go about my normal day. So that's as hard as it is. And it works really well. And there's reasons for it that you learn. Yeah.
That walking. So so you're talking to the guys while you're in the morning.
Yeah, so it's it's a coached program. We have a proper coach. It's not.
Oh,
it's not.
So
it's not,
how's that like a Teams meeting or something like while you're on the move?
It's Zoom.
Type thing?
It's Zoom.
Oh, Zoom.
Yep, Zoom meeting. So in my world, I know it's crazy. Zoom. I know.
Right.
Zoom. In my like weekly routine, every day I go for a walk. It's good. We should be doing something like that anyway. They give you a goal around walking, how much you should do, and you can add a stretch goal. So for me, to be a good hunter, you've got to have good legs. So that kind of resonated with me. You see, we talked. We talked about a lot of the SAS guys that I saw when I was in the military, and they're very slim, unassuming, just general average Joe healthy guys, and they just can walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. And hunters need to do the same thing. You need to be able to carry your pack load, but lots of walking is what you need. So this program for me was conditioning for walking, which was great. And when I got to the territory after doing it for 3 weeks, I was just used to walking reasonably long distances every morning. So that effort wasn't as difficult as it was the previous year, because I was used to it. 3 times a week, they run a Zoom meeting that you can jump in on, and there's a subject of the day that they talk about, and you either participate or you listen, or you don't come at all. But every day that I'm walking, I ring these other guys that have come on board. That's just because I like chatting to them, not because I have to do it. But that's the sort of support you get through the process. It's a bit of a chit chat and a mentoring thing, and it just gives you a bit of camaraderie around it, and you're not just doing it by yourself. And all the examples they give you, like often you'll see some program and there'll be some pin-up boy on there who's, lost an incredible amount of weight or got incredibly fit or whatever. 5 years ago, none of that happens here. This is the only people you talk to are the people that are on the program at the time, or the people that have had success in recent months. So it's all people here now that are doing it, which is, had an appeal for me anyway, that it didn't have this, over-exaggerated expectation. So yeah, it's cool. It's really positive.
Yeah, it is.
Good.
Well
done.
Look, it's obviously working for you, that's for sure. And I know, we don't drop anyone's names, but we know who else is involved, and if they're having that kind of success too, that's pretty fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, anything we can do to promote healthier people is a good thing. And to that point, like I said, I spoke to the coaches I want to put a package together.
You just want to make it in a competition, don't you? That's what you
I kind of do.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's dripping. It's dripping out of you that this is going to turn into a competition.
No, I'm going to create. We're going to create a program that I have currently titled and haven't settled on, called HuntFit. So HuntFit will be something that you can subscribe to if you want to participate. If you want to get those sorts of results, you don't want to go to a gym class and you don't want to do it with other people, but you want to do it with a community of hunters that are got similar goals. That's what we're going to do. If you join the program, we'll probably throw HuntFit shirt, cap, merch at you for fun, just so you can be part of our little community. And I reckon at the end of that process, call it a year, call it whatever, we'll throw some incentives in there for people that, someone might get to come on one of our annual hunt trips, and we'll lean on some of our. Yeah, there we go. We'll make it even more of a
competition.
Like you see in the army,
I'm choosing the fittest, craziest dude. He's coming. If you're that guy,
it's going to be like in the army, where they got the headband and they got that kind of double-handled staff where they just beat each other,
beat the shit out of each other.
Who's going to come?
Who wins boot camp? Yeah, no, there's no boot camp, but you do get to know each other pretty well. So.
Yeah, well, it just mean you're talking to. I know who you're talking to, but I didn't know you were talking to them. In the morning, walking around the farm. So yeah, which is actually really interesting, isn't it? I suppose there's no network like that in. I mean, I know that for a fact in other areas. We've often spoken about how hunting is almost so separate to most things. It just doesn't work. There's just no networks for it. I mean, when I think about, like, for instance, when we first started working with Zolio, they just didn't have anyone who hunted with their stuff, or they didn't have anyone on their group ambassadors, which we are, who hunted. So I think I really like the fact that it's a hunting network. I think that's a fantastic idea, because you've got different kind of goals people too, isn't it? Well. You've got different kind of goals.
We've got totally different goals,
and look,
everyone. You talk about orbits from time to time. The orbit of influence, or the people in your own. You have a social orbit, and you have a work orbit, and you have a family group orbit, and now I have this orbit, and I find where people cross from one to another, you create pretty strong friendships because you've got extra commonality.
That's the Venn diagram, isn't it? That's the Venn diagram.
Yep, it is.
The hedgehog. What it is the people who cross over most.
A massive part of this is goal setting. Like, you don't just go, okay, this is what you eat today, and off you go. There's a whole process that you're taken through. There's goal setting involved with it, but you can set goals around family. You can set goals around personal health. You can do all of that with this, but there is another goal here, and John and I have talked about putting the ballot in for the Wapiti. We want to go to Fiordland and hunt the Wapiti ballot. 8 weeks ago, I wouldn't have. Like I said to Johnny the other day, I don't think I could have put in for that ballot, because if we'd won it, I'm not sure I could have handled it. But only like 8-9 weeks later, 22 kilos down, with an absolute focus on where I can be in another 6 weeks' time, I'm doing it, man. And I have the confidence that I can. So they're the goals that I'm setting, and there's going to be plenty of people that have got other goals. We've met lots of larger than life characters out there that would love to do this sort of stuff with the right people around them, and that's kind of the environment I want to create. So that's what we're doing. So you'll see that launch out sometime in the early new year. But if that subject is of interest, then reach out. I'm going to say this now. Jono is going to have a new email address organised called huntfit@thehunterscampfire.net. So huntfit.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Thehunterscampfire.net. Or just ring me or message me or do whatever.
Yeah,
if you want an early sample of what this looks like and just participate in what we're doing, just give us a yell and I'll give you a bit more detail around it, and you can make a decision on what you want to do. But I think it'll be a fun little community. It doesn't need to be bigger than Ben-Hur.
This is something that you should most definitely lead. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So
all that
Yeah.
That's the goal. Should be
Yeah.
fun.
Well, I'll add a little bit of a incentive to that as well. Most
Oh,
people,
there we go.
most people won't know this,
More
but
incentive.
well, not an incentive, but I used to be incredibly overweight. Most people
Oh, I was
don't
going to
know
say
that.
you used to be gay, but I
Oh,
thought that hadn't
no.
changed.
So
I'm sorry.
I used to be incredibly
We've seen the
overweight,
photos.
and yes, I was 115, 120 kilos. And the incentive for me to lose weight was I had a goal, and that goal was I was going to hunt a specific animal, and that animal lived in the mountains. And the only way I knew I would have a successful hunt was for me to get fit and lose weight, and that was
Right.
my goal. And I did it. I set myself a goal, and I did it. And that was, when would that have been? 2007, I think. And I've managed to, through maintaining an exercise regime and watching what you eat. I'm not a health nut, but I exercise regularly. It's always because I have that goal in mind of I want to be able to do that next hunt. And we've spoken about Fiordland. We want to do that hunt, and I want to make the most out of that hunt. And I think losing weight, getting fit means that you're going to earn that hunt and really make the most out of it. So
yeah. And to give you another idea about the incentive, one of the fellas that's joined me on this program, that's one of those hunters, we've set a goal, and if he hits the goal, he's coming to the territory to hunt buffalo with us next year. That's the kind of incentive I want to throw down in front of the group. So not everyone will get it. It'll be a one-off, each year. We can't take the world.
Yeah.
I think that's going to end in a fist fight.
No, that's all right.
That's going to be the UFC, mate. Into the cage.
That's all right.
Into the octagon.
I think, it's good. It's good.
In the back of Jono's trailer, we even have a cage.
Yeah.
Right. He who leaves last wins. Is that how this works?
You can just stay in it and we'll just drive you up.
Yeah. No, it's just the way it's going to be. And I think, again, what you're talking about with hunters, there's often not a network like this around them.
No, there's not.
Often hunters are solitary people. They may be a little bit quieter sometimes. Blokes being blokes don't talk about stuff. It's a bit of a safe space to do that. We won't get too soft on you, don't worry. It's just a good area to be able to talk about what you want to do and your goals and help you through it. So
I think it's a fantastic
jump on board,
idea.
talk to us about it, join the crew.
And I suppose since we're in the sharing caring mode, which we seem to have morphed into, I didn't have that down on the list, but we are. I myself have significantly changed a lot in terms of nutrition. I've always exercised, but nutrition's been a big thing. When Helena got sick, and to be honest, when Helena got cancer, that really threw everything into a great big loop, and we got through it. But it certainly made me. Nutrition is now a constant talking point in our house because of the things around sugar and glucose and the effects that they have, or what they have on your health, and more importantly, how their links to cancer. So it's something we're thinking about all the time. And I, being the elder statesman of this particular group, I have to think about. I think about these things all the time. I don't think about so much around fitness. I think about longevity.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. I mean, everyone would like to be fitter, but for me, I want to be in the game longer.
Yeah.
So this is about staying in the game. For me, it's about my approach is staying in the game longer. I want to be doing this for a significant period of time. So, and I know for a lot of people that's also the challenge. I've got mates who have got injuries that have gotten away, and so they slowed you right down. And in hindsight, if they were a bit fitter and a bit healthier at the time, they may have bounced back from those injuries, or certainly recovered more quickly.
Yeah,
so I think for what you're doing is not only for the immediate. I think it's something that'll keep you in the game much longer.
Oh no, this is certainly like I said, it's an education. It's something I didn't learn through my high school years or when I was growing up. What I thought I knew may not have quite been real. And when they give you some of the statistics and things to go and research and have a look at if you're interested, there's a whole bunch of audios and listening that you can go through if you have an appetite for them, just to sort of cement your thinking into why you're doing what you're doing. It's not just a take this magic pill and off you go. It's just like really simple things. Like I learned that omega-3, which is really, really important for your joints. And I've had bad knees. I've had operations on both knees from way back when I was a young fella in the military. I damaged them, and I've always had sore knees. I don't have sore knees anymore, and it's omega-3 that's fixed it. And that what I learned about omega-3 was that it has an expiry date of about 90 days. So we were always that family that had a big tub of omega-3, fish oil tablets in the cupboard. Kate would go and buy a bulk pack and sit over there. But as soon as you take the lid off, you've got 90 days. If that lasts any more than 90 days in your cupboard, it's gone off. Doesn't do anything. It's useless. They're little things I just did not know. So, you learn that stuff. You take a good quality supplement, and some of your little ailments disappear. And I really think now that with the right food and nutrition in your body, it heals and takes care of its own pretty well. So there's some of the things that I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. This shoulder of mine, I was looking down the barrel of a fairly significant operation, and someone suggested I try a supplement, and it works. It's the easiest thing I can say. It works, and I've actually put more people onto it. It's a store-bought supplement, but it works. My shoulder doesn't hurt anymore, and I haven't got full range of movement. I don't think I'll ever get full range of movement because there is structurally something there, but I'm able to do 90% range of movement, and I'm able to do stuff without worrying about it. And that's through supplement. That's not they did the thing where they sucked as much cartilage out as they could. And then they said, okay, well, what's less has to come out underneath the knife. So I'm a big believer in the benefits of good supplements. I didn't know, it's medicine that they sell people that they can't call it medicine. But no, I'm certainly changed my tune on supplements, especially obviously the proper ones, or the ones that have some science behind them. But yeah. My shoulder works.
To round that out, I laughed at our Northern Territory camp the day the boxes came out, the pill boxes came out. I've never seen anything quite like it. I guess you move into a certain age in your life, and people, everyone's sitting around that evening, and instead of another tinny getting cracked, the old bloody supplement boxes came out.
Yeah,
who's taking what tablet today, and who's putting this in their body because they need to sort that out. And then the Mega Mag came out, and oh my god, it was hilarious.
Well, that's I did. I made up my supplement before we left, and I just had one of them for breakfast every morning. That was it.
Yeah.
And and we did 15 plus day Ks every day. And everyone was we had no injuries. Everyone was. I mean, you had a bout of self-inflicted mega madness, but
I had a moment with the tree. Yeah,
that's it. Self-inflicted, but other than that, everyone, we all pulled through. We came through really well.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great,
and I think you got to do it. I mean, that's as said. It's that not only the ability to recover, but you actually want to be able to do it in the first place. You want to actually be able to get it out there.
Yeah, to that point before, and have the confidence to make the decision to go.
That's it. You want to feel I can handle this. Yeah,
have one crack at it. Might as well have a good crack at it, right? So, yeah, we'll be forced to be reckoned with come hunt camp. I'm going to hunt that place down like I never have before. Be good. But yeah, that's it. I won't talk any more about that other than to say, if that resonates with you, give us a yell. Happy to talk you through it. Join a little hunting community if you want to, and see what it does for you. It's pretty impressive.
Get hunt fit.
Hunt fit. That's it.
That's not bad. I reckon there's a T-shirt in that, surely.
Absolutely.
We're going to figure out how to do that. Hmm.
We'll think
Any graphic artists out there, give us a call.
Oh, I'll get that sorted out. Don't worry about it. Piece of cake.
Yeah, well, we could always use Fiverr and talk to some guy in Pakistan for $3.50.
Anything else, fellas?
I don't know. As I said, I do want to have. I think we might carry it over though. I want to have a chat about the perennial issue around fair chase and spirit of the hunt and ethics, in particular to thermals. I think it's an old chestnut, but it seems to whatever the particular focus of it is it changes, but it's always the same conversation, and that's what I find really interesting about it. I mean, not too long ago, trail cameras were unfair, bad things, etc. Now most people would honestly, everyone we know is going, okay, I'm going to put trail cameras up to get data, So if things move, and I'd like to have a chat about that next time.
So tune in next week.
Yeah, tune in.
Yeah, for ethics and thermals.
Yeah, well, I think the big part of that is we've really got to define what we mean by ethics. I think that's part of the confusion in a way. We tend to mix all these things in together.
And my view is the most important. And what is a hunter?
Well,
and all of that. Look, not personally my view, but you know what I mean.
No, I think that's a really good point. And one of the things that kind of, strange enough, what kind of tricked this conversation was not so much about the subject matter, but how the conversation is occurring. I was watching this thing, Stephen Fry, the comedian, commentator, and so on and so. Yep. He was talking about why he never made political comments on Twitter, well, when it was still Twitter. And he said, I've got 12 million followers, and it's not my place to influence 12 million people about something that I think about.
Oh, you should tell Taylor Swift that.
Well, that's what I think. I thought that was a really interesting thing to say, like saying, well, yeah, I've got an opinion, but I realize that if I share my opinion, I'm sharing it to 12 million people, and that's kind of has an influence. And that's a really interesting thing to talk about as well, because and I jokingly joke about it, but the fact that is that if we don't realize it or not, we have influence. So I think we need to be mindful of that influence. I posted a picture of a bloody toolbox from Bunnings, and you guys went mad.
I got one.
Did you went mad? So I think that's all part of what I have a chat about.
That'll be a good discussion.
Yeah.
So tune in next time.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week. Yeah.
Same bat time. Same bat channel.
Same bat place.
Okay, gents.
Cool. Thanks, gents. Thank you very much. Good night.
See ya.
See you later.